So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be animating these flags just like we did over here. Like the pizza shows up and then the flags go in, like they move into the scene. So that's what we're going to do. So for the first flag, which is the right flag, we're going to still use the same tool, which is the transform tool, into it. Remember, the reason why I'm using the transform tool is just because of the blur effect. So now here we're going to be animating the position. So the first thing I'm going to do, let me get the original position of the flag, which is right here. I'll just click. Let me zoom in here so we can see everything. We can see all our frames quite well. So over here, maybe around here, I'm going to set the position here. Cool. And then go out to the beginning and then drag my position, or drag the flag out of position, which is this guy over here, because this is your X and this is your Y. So I'm moving here in the Y space down, moving it down so the flag comes into frame. Yeah. So once I do that, I'll just go and do the same thing I did initially. Take this up to 180. So if I bring it around here, you should be able to see the effect. 180. And then, okay, cool. So you notice the blur effect there. That's what we're actually looking for. All right. So if I play now, cool. So that one moves in. I'll just do my easy in here, interpolation, and then easy in. All right. And maybe put it easy out here, interpolation is out. Cool. All right. So I have that in. All right. A bit too fast. So I'll just adjust this a bit to this area. Cool. All right. So I'll do the same thing for my other grain. I'll come down to transform, hold and drag transform into that layer there, and I'll come to my position. This time it's going to move it from up down. So first of all, let me just get my position right. Let me get my position right. So this is going to move from upright. So this is my position. Ready, start. Back up. All right, cool. I see that a lot. I don't know why. All right, and then out of frame, taking it upwards. Cool. So taking it upwards. All right, good. To the layout of frame. So now it moves into frame. It moves into from the top. Okay, so just do what I did before this. Click here, and then type my 180 to give it my blur effect, just as I have it now. So when I play this from the start, we have something like that. Yeah, cool. So something like that. All right, my pizza seems to be visible at some point. Let me just go ahead and fix that. And my visibility here, expand this by pressing my plus. Okay, over here it's visible. Okay, I think it's actually a thing from the system itself. Okay, so I'll just drag this bit out of frame so the pizza is not visible at the beginning. We just need a white background in the beginning. All right, so it now comes into frame. Cool. All right, so comes into frame. Let me just trim this a bit because I have no idea what's going on there. Okay, so comes into frame and then that happens. Okay. Remember, we're going to be working with music on this thing, but for now, let's just work without the music. So it comes in, and yeah, and let me see, lag this a bit so they don't come in at the same time. Just like, all right. So when that happens, I think I'm going to add another effect right after this pizza comes, after the flags comes in. I need the pizza to be a bit bigger, to pop up a little bit bigger. So I'll go back to my scale and click here to add the keyframe. Click here and come up a bit, and then just bring this to around 115. Okay, so it's a bit bigger. So comes in and response. Yeah. So it comes in and response. Okay, cool. All right, good. Okay, so what's the next thing? Let's just check here. So from here we see these other pizzas rolling into frame, like quote here, 4 pizzas rolling into frame right after that happens. Okay, so comes in, finishes his work, the pizza zooms in, Let me put that pizza in a good, better position. I'll put this in a better position right here in the middle. Alright, cool. Alright, good. So it comes into position. Alright. And then right after it does that, we're going to come back to our project add right here and go to our images. Go to our images and drag out our pizza. Pizza. Okay, this is going to be our first pizza. So I'll hold and drag it into frame right here. Okay, cool. So it's quite large on the screen right now, like that's the entire thing that we are seeing there. So I'll go to my effects and controls, click on the pizza, go to my effects and controls, motion, and decrease the size. I'll make it maybe around 20%. Oh, this is actually still huge. So let me just take it back to 10% maybe. Cool. 10% works for me. Okay, click on motion so I can move it. Now mind you, if motion is not clicked, you cannot move the object like this. No, you can't do this. I have to click on the layer for that image. Still can't click on it, but click on either the position or the scale or the motion. So once this square shows around it, it means I can either scale it or I can move it directly with the mouse. That's what this actually means. So I'm moving down to this area here. I think I'll still reduce the size of this to maybe around 7. I need it to be really small. Cool. All right, that's size enough. It's enough for me. Let me zoom in a bit. 75. Drag down. Okay, cool. So I have it somewhere around here now. Okay, put it down here. Right on the bottom. Good. Okay, so what we're going to be now working with here is the rotation of these objects here, or of the pizza. So I'll go to here. I'm not using my motions because I don't need my motions on this in this particular rotation. I don't need my motion block for this particular rotation. But we could use it if we want to, but I don't think so much motion is happening here that we need it. So I'll just go to my rotation because we're going to be doing animation, both rotation because this pizza is going to be rolling, and also we're going to be doing animation on position. So let's come to the beginning of the frame. I'll do that, and I'll click on position to get the original position, but at this point it should be outside. So I just go, this time we're moving on the x-axis, which is horizontal. So we'll move outside the screen. We'll move outside the screen right here. Good. We'll create a keyframe for outside the screen, and then right here, around 2 frames in, right here, we'll move back into the screen. Where's the pizza? Hello, pizza. Sorry, I was moving this on the z-axis. Sorry, that was a mistake there. Control Shift C. Okay, so move it back into screen. Okay, cool. So but this time it goes all across the screen. It goes all across the screen because we want it to move across the screen, not real fast, but so it goes like this across the screen, but not real fast. So we're going to give it a few frames to do its magic. If I play it, let's see. Alright, cool. Still kind of fast. Give some frames in this way. Good. So it comes in like this. Alright. So the only thing that isn't happening right now is that it's not rotating. It's just moving. You can't really tell because I don't know, it's circle, and these pepperonis on top of it are like similar. So you can't really tell. So I'm just going to come down to the beginning of the frame again, and this time activate animation for create a keyframe for our rotation. So at this point here, where it comes to this point here, I'm going to rotate it, maybe giving a 360 rotation. So it's going to rotate 360. So this time it's moving into frame. Good. And this time it's rotating and stuff. Okay, cool. Yeah, you may not really see it, but because the object inside of it are like similar. So let me just make it full. Perhaps that will help. All right, cool. So it's actually rotating this time. Let me see if I rotate it like this. So if you see, okay, this is it rotating, like All right, cool. So take it to the last keyframe and then maybe rotate it some more. Okay, just like giving it some really deep rotation. That's right now. So it's like very obvious. So okay, I know it's obvious enough now. That should work. So I like doing this, creating my easy in and easing out. I do this to have a smoother animation. That's what it does. A lot of you might not really see it, but it does that anyway. So okay. So uh as soon as pizza rolls in, this comes in. Cool. All right. I don't know why the pizza is coming in like that. It looks like it's sneaking out from somewhere into somewhere else. So cool. All right. So, but we need one pizza coming in from the right, and then another one coming in from the bottom to the top. That's all we need. So what I'm going to do is I'm simply just going to duplicate this one, and I'm doing that by holding down my Alt and dragging up here. So now I have two layers for the pizza. I hold down and drag this down. Yeah, we don't need the audio layer yet. So I have two pizzas running in. And so I'm just going to do the animation for the other ones too. Now, it's not a big team, it's not a biggie, but I could just duplicate, but I'm not going to be doing that now or here on this particular one because of the direction of it. So this other one, I'm going to click on my position so I can have this hinge come out and then drag it down here. Okay, so we can see the other pizza open right there. So I'll hold it, come down to this side here. Cool. Right, that works for me. All right, I'll take my rotation, maybe bring my rotation back to 0. Good. Okay, and go to 75%. H, get my hand out. My hand out. Okay, I'm sure by now you guys notice that my system is slow and all that, but please don't mind that. Let's just work with what we have, right? Cool. Okay. So the truth of the matter is that it's not like it's slow though, but the application can be frustrating sometimes. Like right now, like I get to do a lot of things on the system, so it's up around. That's what happens. So okay, cool. I just needed this to be on the same position as the other one, like the same level and stuff. So I'll go back to fit and then animate the position, but this time I'll be animating the position upwards. Now, please, guys, I really need you. Like, it's very, very important that you notice or you get how I do my keyframing. So the first keyframe is for the object or for the pizza out, and this is going to be animated on the the y axis. This is our x axis and this is our y axis. So I'm going to animate it backwards, taking it to the bottom first, right? Because on the first keyframe it needs to be outside of the frame. So I just move in a couple of frames in, maybe 3 frames in right here should do, and then I move it back into frame just like that. Okay, so it does this until it leaves the scene. So it goes out and just keep scrolling until it moves the scene. Okay, cool. So I just make sure you come on top of the numbers and there's hold and drag. I don't know if you don't get that. Cool. So you do that. So it comes like this and comes out and then moves in like that. Okay, cool. All right. So I'll do my easy in. Right click, interpolation, easy in. Good. So this comes in and goes out. So right now I can do the same thing I did with the rotation. Click here, right, and come down here, and I'll make this a minus 360. Yeah, I'm making minus 360 this time. So I'll move it down here. Right click, and is in. Okay, cool. So this piece moves that way. Okay. So I'll play it from the beginning again because I like seeing it. Not really. I want you guys to see it. That's why. Oh, the position of the pizza changed. Not biggie. Okay, cool. So I can just go to the pizza logo, go to the motions, and drag it back into position. So don't worry, there's no keyframe on it because we actually did the animation on that transform. So it doesn't changing the position here from the motion does not affect it, unless we change it from our transform here. That's where we have our keyframes. That's when it's affected. So we have that rolling into frame. Good. So another thing we're going to do is this. I'm going to select the both layers for the pizza that's rolling in. Right click and I'll nest it. Nesting is more or less like grouping into a folder, or more like grouping into a folder. In this case, a subsequence stuff. So both of these pizzas just became one. They just became one, like got into one. Although you can still work on them separately if you want to. If I double click on the layer, the nesting layer, it takes me to the particular layer where both of them are already, which is right here, as you can see. And stuff. This is the layers for both of them. So, and this is what we named it as pizza. So, if I go back to the sequence that we're working on, you can see it's green and both of them are in the same layer right here. So it moves in just like that. Okay, cool. All right, so I'm going to duplicate it though, because there's something I want to do. So I hold this alt down and drag up. Cool. So this is what I'm trying to achieve. Let's go back so we can play it. If you notice here, we have 4 pieces and they are all moving in different directions, like, coming from all angles. That's what I'm trying to achieve. So we have one coming here, one coming down. So I'll go back here and all I do is I rotate this. I rotate my pizzas from my motion. I'll rotate this one and maybe around 180 degrees or so. We rotate in 180 degrees. Perhaps that'll work. Let's just see 80 degrees. Enter. Cool. Alright, so now let's see. They all come from different angles of our screen. Okay, cool. Alright, so that's what's happening. They all come from different angles of our screen. Good. So if I play, but although I like delays, I don't like objects to come in at the same time and stuff. So just like they all come in at the same time, I don't really enjoy that. So I always like a little delay of one object. So I'm just going to move that a bit further. One of it a bit further, just like I did with the greens here. So it's not really noticeable, but over time, I think you get the idea of it. So if I pick now, this is what I have. Good. Okay. So to be frank, right, the more I look at this, the more I want to add to it. The more I look at it, the more I want to add to it. And while this moving in, I wanted the pizza to keep scaling out. I don't want pizza to keep scaling out. But for the purpose of this, let's just work. So we have done that, and let's see what next. So the pizza rolls in and then changes. Oh, cool. It changes. We have different pizzas just popping into frame. And that's okay. Cool. So let's go ahead and do that. And I'm sorry for the noise. I'm just adjusting my seat, so that would definitely sound out. So sorry, apologies. So they roll out of frame like that. Good. Okay. And so I'm going to come here, and since at this point our pizza logo here changes into other logos, other pizzas, I'm going to cut this pizza out. So C, my result to cut this out. V for select, click on it and delete what I have there. Okay, sorry. Okay, and I'll delete what I have there. Okay, cool. So at this point, I do not have that pizza there. I have to replace it with a different pizza. So I'll go to my images again, and I'll say pizza 1. Okay, pizza 1 works for me. I drag my pizza image over down here. Yeah, we've been through this before. So effects, controls, and scale 20 this time. Make it 20, and okay. So I make that 20, and if else I just bring them all in at once. So I just hold down shift and select both layers here and raise it up. Let me just expand on everything so you can see everything. I'll drag this up and just keep dragging it up, and then more layers just keep creating itself. I'll bring them back in. I just want to bring in the I want to bring in all the pizza layers at the same time. That's what I'm doing. So okay, cool. So just select all this, holding down my shift, select all other 3 pizzas, hold down my shift and drag them into this layer here, into that timeline. Yeah. Okay, cool. So if you check here, you find out that they're all here. All I just need to do now is trim them down, because I need them right click, we put delete. I need them in small frames. So just gonna play in small frames. So sorry. Hey man, do well. So right click, we put delete, and don't forget, like, I think the ripple delete thing that comes in very handy a lot. So yeah, so just trim this down a bit. Alright, so later on we'll come back to work on it, because yeah, of course the video has to follow the audio. So I press my theta and then we come back to frame. So as you can see, the pizzas are really huge. So I just have to bring all of them back to like 20 in scale, depending on the images themselves. Okay, this is quite small compared to the larger, to the other ones. So let me just bring them all down to 20 and see, because these images actually have different formats from where I downloaded them. So cool. 20. Alright, so let's see. So 20. Okay. Alright, this is the one with the issue, so we just have to raise it to 25. Alright, I think its dimension is quite different from the others. Okay. Alright, so now let's go ahead and count our frames. So when it comes to this level here, sorry, that works. So I play, comes up, disappears, good. So I think we have to give it a bit time before it changes. Although we'll be working with music, so for now let's just leave it as it is. So it comes here. Good. Alright, so now next